Peace, Chiefs and Deers. It's Bronzebird here with another video. Before I begin, like and subscribe. Thank you. So this is another installment of my series that I call Third Dimensional Series, in which I really talk more about the whole entire thing and the concept of 3D printing and how 3D printing is just one of the scapegoats on how they're trying to move towards this neo society, usually with the perception that more or less a lot of the things that humans used to do and jobs that humans used to have is basically going to be obsolete by this new technology, and materials that you thought was just regularly handmade is going to be pretty much done by technology such as this, including a 3D printer. Now, before I begin, I know a lot of inspiring fashion designers, a lot of people out there that want to have their own fashion brands, have their own clothing line, sell shirts, sell hats, sell jeans, sell book bags, whatever have you. The whole entire thing about retail is that it's really easy to do. I mean, a lot of people I know already on YouTube already sell basic t-shirts with their logo on it, and they might get little brands to start off like Hanes or Fruit of Loom and Gildan and all these different things out there, regular cotton shirts, and they'll put their logo on it. Or maybe they'll find an actual retailer or go to a place where they can actually, get the shirts professionally made and all these different things. I mean, the possibility is endless. I won't deny that at all. But the thing about it is, talking about this thing when it comes to retail, this whole entire idea of 3D printing. Now it's the whole entire idea about 3D printing when it comes to shirts, fashion, how the fashion industry is going to be affected by 3D printing, or the neo way of retail now. So I'm going to show you a video in a few minutes about exactly what I'm talking about. But just the concept of how retail is changing the idea of 3D printing and virtual reality is basically changing everything when it comes to retail. My concept is, and what I think, because I'm going to show you an article later as well, that malls are not going to exist anymore. A lot of stores may either turn virtual, or there might be more of a idea or concept to change the stores into pickup stores rather than doing the okey doke, waking up and going to the store yourself and going to shop. Now, this is a thing they probably didn't really talk about here in America, if you didn't know, that there's a lot more malls closing, and that when it comes to retail brands themselves or retail stores, they're going obsolete. A lot of department stores are not even operating anymore, and these malls are starting to become ghost buildings, you know? So I'm gonna share my screen so I can give you a visual about what I'm talking about. So, peep. Fair use.
The world of 3D printing is now at the intersection of production and consumer demand. This 3D knit printer will print a new piece of clothing, and it's among the new technology being unveiled by Intel at the National Retail Federation Conference here in New York. Michelle Tinsley is Director of Mobility and Secure Payments for Intel and part of its Internet of Things retail division. She joins us now to discuss. Hi, Michelle. Great to see you. Hi.
Now, before she begins, this is something that came to mind that I was thinking while watching this video before I wanted to process it now. The thing about it is, you and I both know that, especially when it comes to America, that they like to outsource on a lot of different companies. Like, the thing about it is that they'll build some parts here, or probably won't even build parts. They'll build the parts or build the product here, but they'll get the products from other places around the world. And when it comes to even things like your favorite brand of sneakers or brand of clothing, they'll usually exploit people out in other countries to build it for less than 1 cent a day, just so they can get the product out. You understand? So my thing about it is, what happens to them? What happens to their workforce? Will they start to become still available constituents that's gonna go to the job? And now when it comes to 3D printing, all they have to do is stand there and just watch the shirt be printed? Or will they be excommunicated out the workforce? these are questions that I like to ask because I want to find out what exactly is going to happen with things like this.
Thank you, Tanya. You brought a finished product with you.
Did,
is this the very sweater we saw being made there? It's the same color thread.
Absolutely.
This is incredible. So how does it work? Do you compute the size, the color? How do you come up with this?
Well, so there's a workstation that's an Intel-powered workstation at the beginning of this process. And what they do is they will take input from the consumer on what type of knit patterns do you want, how many vent holes, and they basically perfect the order to the customer. Then what they do is they save it onto a USB drive and literally just stick it right into the machine. 45 minutes later, you get the unique printed item right out.
Incredible. And this is soft. What kind of material is it?
This is cashmere. So again, the Shimasheki would say, hey, we still need to finish it by just cutting off the white threads. Right. And washing it and doing with fabric softener the magic that'll make it a super soft, amazing cashmere sweater.
Now, this is the thing. Another point that I wanted to bring up, and one thing that I actually think about, I know a particular retail store that I usually like to go to buy my clothes. And the thing about them is that they're very, very high tech because their company comes from Japan. And the thing about it is that this could be a steal for the Japanese company itself or any company that originates with high-tech stuff anyway, because they can use 3D printing as a way to do it and then add their own little seasoning into it so that the sweater, for instance, could be an auto-cool sweater or all these different things out there. So there's definitely a lot of things to take away from this 3D printing. And I just really wonder, especially the retail store that I like to go to buy my clothes, would they pull off 3D printing, but also add in their high-tech gear or their high-tech flavoring to those clothes to make it accessible to people when they shop?
Something like this retail for?
It's from Eileen Fisher, so I'm not quite sure. Yeah.
So what are the retail implications of?
I was talking about Uniqlo at the way. Uniqlo, by the way.
If I go into a store and let's say they're out of my size, can the salesperson then go in the back and print me up a sweater?
Well, I think really where we're going to see the first utilization of this, because it is quite a large piece of equipment and take up quite.
I mean, at the stance though, I ain't really trying to wait 45 minutes to an hour to get a shirt, to wait to talk to a sales associate and say, hey, so you want to print me a shirt because I can't find my size and whatever my size is. And they're going to be like, okay, well, come back in 45 minutes to an hour. We'll print you out a new shirt. I mean, I mean, it does seem like a good gesture. I'm just playing around and trying to be funny. But I mean, damn, that could be a reality, though.
Quite a bit of store real estate is to put it in a flagship store and enable more of that leading edge, the first adopters to come in, start ordering what they want. The retailer or brand can then see what's going to be hot.
So is it right now you think is more of a novelty appeal rather than something that's actually?
Yeah, I think we're still in the early days. We'll see again maybe 5 or 10.
It's like the bell curve. They test it out. They see it in the early stages, and then as it starts to become it starts to become a hot trend. And it starts to go all the way to like its peak. I'm not really sure if it's going to go down because we're talking about the future. We're talking about the 4th industrial revolution. So the thing about it is that this is going to be a hot commodity when it comes to a lot of these companies. And like I said, who can win in this type of situation is retailers like Uniqlo, because they specialize in high tech. So they could use products like this if they're not already, or to go ahead and win over the whole entire thing and be the first in the game to do the 3D printing with their clothes, with the fashion brand.
10% of the demand fulfilled with something perfectly customized like this.
Right.
But then again, they'll get those insights and be able to use that for better demand planning for what they order in the large bulk.
Now, is there a lot of pressure right now on technology in general to focus more on retail? It seems like that sector has not been quite as innovative as others.
Yeah, the retail industry is in a complete state of disruption right now. There are a lot of tech players coming in with new solutions and they have to reinvent themselves. There's still quite a bit of shopping happening in the stores, even by 2020. Our research says 70% of sales will still be finalized in a retail brick and mortar store. And so what we're advocating with the industry is a sense of urgency around deploying technologies to improve their business.
And you have another piece of technology to tell us about that could potentially help shoppers looking for shoes, correct? Tell us how that works.
So in the TrueFit demo, what we're doing is taking all the intelligence that TrueFit has cultivated online. As consumers, they have 30 million of them today subscribed on their platform, highlighting the favorite outfits that you love the most, the brand and the size. What they can then do is divine what other styles and brands you may like and recommend perfect solutions just for you.
AKA cookies. That's what they already do now, especially when you go on your computer and you start, remember you like talk about things or your research or you'll shop for something, and all of a sudden if you play a YouTube video, you might see an ad at the bottom that's sitting up there talking about the same thing or offering, or an ad talking about something you bought earlier. That's all it's about. It's about cookies. That's mainly what this lady is getting at.
We're taking all that intelligence into the store with TrueFit, and with a 3D scanner, we can now not only see the shape, height, and foot of your foot, but also the ankle, the calf. For things like boots, really thinking about what's going to feel great on you.
I love that, because it's so hard. I have sort of thin calves, and it's so hard for me to find boots that aren't just, I'm not swimming in,
Right.
So it'd be so great to have more personalized.
Absolutely. What they're saying is they bring the advice from online into the store on any device.
Right, and then you've also got something that looks like a.
So basically, it's like, yeah, they're just getting to know you. That's why I always say when it comes to this technology nowadays, it's not about necessarily making convenient. It's to really get to know you. And the thing about it is, I'm opposed to that, because certain things, privacy is erased. That's what it is. Privacy is erased. You're not even allowed to sit up there and think on your own 2 feet. You got products thinking for you before you even know exactly what to say, God damn it. And I mean, it's only going to get pretty much more high tech out of that point. You understand? So the thing about it is that they're going to be able to understand your foot. They're going to be understanding your body type. They're going to be able to send that information into the store. So when you walk in, it's like they already know everything about you, especially your size, and they're going to fit you with this whole entire gear. And look, listen, I'm in that regards, I don't have no positive or negative response to that. I'm just saying it how it seems like.
A video game. It takes place at your local grocery store, but it's really virtual reality.
Yeah, so we love to coin this as virtual reality done right. What it is a solution that's being used with Walgreens, and In Context Solutions is our partner that actually runs this system. It essentially creates a virtual store and allows the retailer to do their planogram in multiple ways. They can move categories around, the height of the shelf up or down, and then they can overlay on top of that where your eyeballs would gaze as a consumer. Where are my top selling products? Do I want to put them all together? Do I want to space them out? And they can then try this out and rapidly prototype new store layouts. So what used to take months can now be done in days.
Amazing.
I just thought about coupons when she said that, like how they're going to virtually do coupons so you can save more money when it comes to shopping at these supermarkets, especially when we're talking about inflation. If it is able to go through, because I don't know how it's really going to go at this point.
Great tech coming to a store near you or an e-site near you, right?
Yeah.
Works both ways.
Absolutely.
Michelle Tinsley, thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Give your thoughts in a comment. Peace.